2, Chelsea 5, potentially the most spineless performance we've seen under the Nuno era. No player really wanted it out there today. And a lot should have a good look at themselves, because that wasn't good enough. The first half, Chelsea were rampant. They're a good side.
The only positive you can really take from the game is the fact that Patrick Cutrone's got his first goal for the club. And that's good. Adama Traore going forward was pretty decent, but defensively looks out of place, out of position all the time. We missed Bolly, but then again we conceded 3 last time he was in the back anyway, so maybe we don't miss Bolly, I don't know.
I thought we were really poor, just flat out poor. I mean, looking at the game, it's not what you're used to. Obviously we've experienced it before in the past, but not since being back in the Premier League have we been thrashed like that. The run rings out around us at some point of the game. That 10-minute period where they scored them goals was... It wore Wolves. That's not the Wolves we've come to love. I think the first goal you can write off as just a world class goal. It's good, it's cracking. It's a really good goal. Second one, second and third, both stoppable. Fourth goal, good finish from Abraham. Fifth goal, it's the last kick of the game. We shouldn't be conceding that.
So a bit of a strange one today. First 30 minutes, neither team had a shot at goal and looked like we were containing them very easily. And then within 15 minutes, it's 3-0. Just can't keep giving teams easy goals and expect to get something out of games. On the positive side, I thought the 3 subs that came on all looked bright. Cutrone looks like he's going to be a real handful for Premier League defenders. I thought Doherty looked more like his old self again. And also Gibbs-White offered something that maybe some of the other midfielders can't offer. Running with the ball and trying to make things happen. So overall not a complete disaster. 1 or 2 things to work on. Not going to get carried away with 2 defeats in a row. But plenty for Nuno to think about and tweak, ready for Braga on Thursday.
What I have to say is that I don't really have much to say. I just feel pretty emotionless with that result. We started off first 10 minutes, I thought, oh, this could look promising, we're looking good going forward. We didn't really have much defending to do, that's probably why it looked good, because we didn't have much defending to do. But as soon as we had defending to do, we made it look awful. I think we really missed Bolly. It's clear that he is the key part of our defence after that, because Viejo was very bad at some points. He was very up and down, very shaky. Every time he tried to distribute the ball, it wasn't convincing at all. And I thought we'd been done over, really, by a Frank Lampard masterclass tactics, because I don't know Chelsea's system, but it sounds to me like they've switched to a 3 at the back, they've matched us, and then we've been done by Tammy Abraham, who we've made to look like Ronaldo for some reason, because every time he got the ball in the box, he managed to put it in the back of the net.
It's all right winning these Europa League games, but it's these Premier League games that the fans are really worried about, because at the end of the day, it's all fine and dandy winning games in Europa League, but when you're in the relegation zone, whether it's 1 game in, 10 games in, or 38 games in, fans will worry. That's just how it is. It's just how football is. So I can't help but say that I'm worried. I do think we'll get out of it. We got one of the best squads, starting 11, in the Premier League. I think, in my opinion, we got the best outside the top 6 easily. Maybe Leicester and Everton pushing close, but I think we do have the best starting 11. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's a bit of a blip. Abraham obviously getting a hat-trick. Everyone saw that coming. I knew Abraham was going to score today. But it is what it is. On to the next one.
And Abraham's obviously improved, since he's been at Chelsea. He looks a really good player, but again, he bullied Cody today in that one-on-one situation as well. He's got to do better. But this is a problem with the lack of squad depth. A player can have a couple of bad games and he knows his position isn't really that threatened. Look at Vallejo today, poor. Bennett's obviously been dropped for some reason. Bennett will come back in next week and may play poorly again, and then Vallejo will be back in. It's like, because there's such a lack of squad depth, players aren't really that competitive in the positions. And then Donker and Neves, not so much Coutinho, but the former 2 there have underperformed massively, and that decision not to bring in another central midfielder looks a very costly one. Has to be better. Maybe a change of shape, because maybe teams have found us out. but we shouldn't be conceding 5 goals at home. We're a good side, and this shouldn't be happening. And yeah, some players need to have a look at themselves after that.
We don't really show much creatively, I don't think. Obviously, we would have scored if we did. I think we showed some promise in the game, but just not what we've come to know. And if we do that in Europe, we will win, we will get through. And you can't even blame Europe anymore. Can't even blame international break. I just don't think we was good enough today. I just don't think we was. I think once we get a few results in Europe, then yeah, we might be back onto a bit of a better start for the season. But today was just an overall sum up of the starts of the season. I think some positives from the start of the season, but overall just a poor game today and a poor start. I think once we get a couple of results under our belt, we'll fly again. But no, it's just depressing today. To be fair, underwhelming.
Football is a game of chances, and Chelsea took theirs, and we couldn't really make any chances until Patrick Cutrone came on, who, by the way, I think needs to start, because Raul and Diogo don't look on the same wavelength, and I think Patrick Cutrone, when he came on, was the only one that looked like he wanted to be there, and the only one, like sort of hyping up the players, and I don't even know. I just feel pretty emotionless with the result. We need to recover quickly, because we've got now a Europa League group stage game that's kind of important, because you want to get off to a good start there as well. But we also need a result in the Premier League. Otherwise, our fan base, we have a pretty fickle fan base sometimes, and it'll just look like hell on Twitter. So we need to fix up quickly.